Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're trying to get our custom draft screen working here. It seems like it might not. You're, of course, watching The Summit, powered by Twitch. What can you do? K-pop still failing at his, he had one job. He got the team fight
He had like, I about to say, he's got like, I think he has more jobs than us.
Our job is to sit here and, like, do what you normally do when you're playing Dota, basically, except we talk more.
Yeah, talk a bit of smack.
He's got like 50 buttons to press. 2 sets of headphones.
He has 6 monitors in use.
6 monitors, 2 chairs, 2 keyboards,
7 monitors,
3
sorry.
sets of headphones. Yeah, 3 cameras.
I just have
it's
one
hard.
monitor.
It's a hard life for him. Welcome back to the Summit, Asia guys, of course, powered by Twitch. It's time for Game 2 of Newbee versus Dreamtime. The draft's underway.
Let's get into it. We've got an interesting draft here.
Yeah.
DT do not just have one trick. DT have got a couple. Trick number 1, Brewmaster.
So,
Number 2, Wisp Tiny.
this is like every Chinese team's favorite new trick. Some running it better than others. Vici Gaming, the one team that is not running it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm sure they're capable of it.
Yeah, I guess it's something. I think it's something you may as well have in your arsenal to
Yes,
just
it's
unleash.
a strat you want in your arsenal, so the teams have to maybe blow a ban on Wisp, if
Yeah.
nothing else.
Even if you only run it like LGD, they've only, I think the stat was they'd only run it like 5 times before that recent game. They did end up losing that game, but just having the ability to run it, and hey, Dreamtime say no problem.
What's Newbee gonna do here? They open Centaur. If this was DK in 6.80, instant Invoker pick would come out.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're thinking of now. Invoker's available. There's also a Sand King, though. I don't know if you. I don't know if you just want to be giving away Tiny Wisp free farm.
Yeah.
It always seems that badly.
This pool is so wide open. They go for the Ancient Apparition. Newbie like their AA.
It's a little bit of a stronger laning choice and offers you a similar punch in the mid game to a Sand King.
Yeah.
A little bit less lockdown.
Now, this pool was just so wide open. When Newbie banned Prophet and Brewmaster, it left so many top tier heroes in the pool.
The Prophet ban did surprise me a little bit. I didn't feel like that was a hugely impactful hero for Dreamtime. It was fine, but... And I don't think Air carried them, but just the hero itself just threatened a lot more than the Prophet did.
Yeah. Ember Spirit again being ignored as well, but neither of these two teams... Well, at least, I'm not... DT Co I've seen less of, but Newbie have never run much Ember Spirit.
I'm not very sold on Ember lately. I thought the nerfs were excessive to begin with, and he just doesn't seem that scary right now. Like, they were running Ember Mag earlier today, and he had a Battle Fury, too. And it's just like, it's a Battle Fury with Empower, and he just didn't do it.
That was like they kind of threw the game when they focused the Weaver at top lane.
That's true. That's true. I don't know, the hero just, it takes a while to come online, and it felt like you used to be able to do more, because you could fight it you could fight more at early levels, you could do more without items, because your Sleight of Fist hit harder. Not to say he's a useless hero, but just feels quite situational. I still think Ember Darkseer is pretty strong, but outside of that, I don't know. Not sure how I'm feeling about him.
We'll see what the plan for Newbie's going to be here.
That Anti-Mage ban.
Yeah.
That's 2 games in a row they've banned Anti-Mage versus Newbie, so they clearly are afraid of turning into a farm war where Hal's getting proper free farm.
I think, based on game 1 at least, they like to go for that big 5-man, and that's something which Anti-Mage is kind of good against in some senses, because he split pushes you and forces you to constantly have to go back and defend, which is maybe not what you want to do. So.
Do you really want to go 5-man with Tiny Wisp? That seems kind of odd.
Well, this will be like a 3-2 split, I guess.
They want to I feel like it's like they want to have the option to fight earlier. Maybe not a full 5-man. We might see some early tower pushes, but yeah, the Anti-Mage can just draw you back always.
We'll see if they go for what they did last game and ban out the Morphling as well in this second banning stage.
Yeah.
They have the option to, so...
Morphling H Apparition Centaur is a very good just pick off trio. So
yeah,
Tiny can deal with Morph though. We saw that was the old Morph too. We saw at TI2. Orange still resting in peace.
Yeah, that was some time ago. But okay. We've got working hexagons, but we haven't got. As long as we've got working hexagons, that's like the BTS staple. So. We're awfully quiet today. Well, no, we haven't been quiet today. We're quiet now.
Just conserving energy. You can't get all excited about the draft.
We're just pondering.
Puck was the ban from Newbie, so they do need a setup hero. They also need a solo mid. The Brewmaster's already banned, so just removing as many tempo controllers as possible. Dreamtime, same thing they did in game 1. Anti-Mage Morph ban in the second stage, which...
They pondered a long time on that Morphling ban, though. They're chewing away at a lot of their time. But
yeah, that was a long time to decide. Morphling does go. He synergizes really nicely with Centaur, Ancient Apparition, also because they're all nuke damage, and if you get an E-Blade,
Yeah. That's
boom
it.
kasha.
Rubik picked up as their other support, so they don't want to reveal too much about their draft, so they pick up another support to start things off, not showing what their other 2 solos are going to be. Also, decent, yeah, fairly decent against Centaur.
Yeah, I like Rubik against Centaur. Just
Yeah.
Stampede's fairly easy to steal depending on how the fight starts, and he's good to counter initiate. Just lift him when he blinks in.
Yeah, I think it's like by no means a counter, but just like a.
He's good. I think he's
better.
decent against him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a counter.
No,
Yeah.
That's fair. So we'll see Newbee now. Their 3rd pick coming up.
Viper is a counter to Centaur. Viper is the hard counter to Centaur. You lane 1v1 against him. If he takes a point in return, the game's over because you just take corrosive skin and you right click him and he takes damage because the return damage procs the corrosive skin.
That's no fun.
Yeah, that was a fun. I forget
cruel.
who was playing the matchup, but that's like if you take Shadow Strike as Quap versus Viper and he takes corrosive skin.
Yeah.
I remember when the change first happened, Honey suicided taking Shadow Strike against Viper. That was a sad game. But yeah, that's what happens when there's so many. Just when you're playing so many games and they're packing these weird mechanics that have changed. You haven't had a chance to play out, but you play a game once and it never happens again.
Ooh, good disruptor. I was about to say, I was looking at other supports to go with the AA, like Vengeful Spirit AA. You don't really want to jungle with the AA, and there weren't that many supports left. Like Sand King taken out, Rubik picked up by the opponent, so they go Disruptor, which is kind of nice little, like you can send the Wisp or the Tiny back when they try to relocate in. So it has that nice little bit of synergy there, although Tiny will ultimately probably go for a BKB to somewhat deal with that. And DT pick up Darkseer, so Vacuum plus Tiny combo, that's some scary damage output.
Yes, our combo gaming is strong. K-pop teased us with the prospect of hexagons, but it remains 10 years since our last hexagons. And counting.
Okay.
Darkseer, not.
I like the Darkseer.
They don't have any stuns. They have Glimpse, but they don't have any follow-up to that.
You don't often see Darkseer picked up after a Disruptor, just because how good Disruptor is as a support against Darkseer. But
it's true. But like normally, if something else to combo with him that has lockdown, so they can Glimpse him and then he'll just surge away.
No, DT just don't seem to give 2 shits about the lane stage. They're just all about the mid game and
the Spectre pick.
Okay.
From Newbee.
I think
It's
Newbee
a little awkward though.
Newbee just really want to like have the hard carry advantage.
They still haven't fixed that Stampede not working on Haunt Illusions either, which I believe is it's still a confirmed bug on the dev forum.
So Dota 1 it stampedes all the Haunt Illusions?
I think so.
Okay.
I believe now I'm forgetting.
Well, it mostly we're missing a few of these second bans, but yeah. Oh, we don't have first ban. Yeah,
K-pop forgot to show the draft in time. That's why we don't have all the bans.
That's all good. We don't need bans. Bans.
It isn't. I don't think it is supposed to work like that, but it apparently does work.
Our draft screen is a proud independent draft screen, and it don't need no bans.
Yeah, for anyone who's wondering, there was a Lycan bat ban for Dreamtime and a Panda or a Brewmaster Prophet ban for Newbee, and we've also got our teams mixed up, Brian. So might want to. Now you've just confused the viewers.
No. We're picnicking. Grab your picnic baskets.
Brian, let's go back. Take us back to a simpler time. There we go. Welcome back to the draft.
We sound so sad and upset.
Use the preview monitor.
This cast has just gone full
Well,
Bible
Invoker gets banned in the last stage. I am just shocked he was ignored this long, honestly. He's good against Tiny Wisp. EMP's not bad. Sunstrike goes very well with Centaur and Ancient Apparition, but and it would have been a nice final pick to go with the Spectre.
Neither team knows what mid-heroes the other team's going for, so DT will strike first, which means Newbee can go for the semi-counter, but DT say, we're going Tiny Wisp mid, let's put the Lifesteal
so
safe
greedy. They are running
kind
Tiny,
of.
Darkseer, Lifesteal. Both supports need levels. 3 heroes need a lot of farm. And they're running triple melee.
They're doing dual lanes, so that means all these heroes will, in theory, if the dual lanes work out well, you get those levels, because you're not sharing XP too many ways in a tri-lane, and Wisp can look to stack neutrals a lot to help you with the XP. I think in theory it can really work out, but
it can. It is very creepy.
Newbee have no way to apply pressure. Like, AA Disruptor don't gank. They're just going to sit bottom lane, protect Spectre's farm, and go for pulls themselves. And
Ow, Magnus.
oh, God.
Well, I think after game 1, Newbie have decided they want teamfight supremacy.
Yeah.
And they've secured it.
I think I like
Dreamtimer-
DT's draft this game.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, it does seem, though, like Newbie were like, you know what, we're not getting out team fought this time around. We'll get Centaur,
Yeah.
H Apparition Disruptor, good team fight, Spectre, great team fight carry, and then for good measure, we'll just throw in a Magnus as well. But, yeah, how are these lanes going to work for Newbie? I guess off-lane Centaur, solo mid-mag, and defensive tri-lane?
Yeah, and DT will just look at that and be like, sweet, we can just straight up win 2 lanes, put the Wisp Tiny against the Mag, put the Rubik Lifestealer against Centaur, and all Lifestealer has to do is rush those phase boots, and he can actually put a lot of pressure onto the Centaur. So, I think in theory, DT could win 2 lanes while stacking a bunch of neutrals, like, which is a really scary thought if Newbie...
Rubik sucks at harassing Centaur, though.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of an issue.
Yeah, I guess it depends what you consider winning the top lane. Like, they won't be able to kill the Centaur. Maybe once Phase Boots is up on air, we see some extra aggression coming out, but Centaur should get some decent XP.
The other option, I guess, is they could go... no, their tri-lane's not very good. Yeah, they
For
kind of have
DT,
to...
you mean?
Yeah, they kind of have to run the dual lanes. They go tri-lane against H Apparition and Spectre. It's actually a very strong duo in the laning stage.
They could do the dual lane Lifestealer mid and the Tiny in the safe lane's their other option, but I don't see any reason. I think you want the Wisp mid for the easy access to the neutral stacking.
Here comes your smoke from DT.
Yeah.
Level 1. Going for the jugular here. A win here. They're into the grand finals. Getting closer and closer. Air. He gets tossed in to start this one off. Here comes the open wounds. The tether over the top. What a creative beginning. Now an ion shown to XDD, but I don't know if they get this kill.
Oh, they need that tether movement speed.
That
He's gonna get away.
glimpse. What a clever engage, though. Dreamtimer just showing some really nice creativity.
I saw Lifestealer run forward. I'm like, he sees them, but while they're smoked up, like, how's he going to actually get it close enough for an open wound? And then suddenly...
open wounds, dude. That's so next level.
That was.
He did have to take open wounds level 1, which is not really ideal against Centaur.
Yeah, he's got a safe lane farm, so it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, that was cute. All right, let's introduce them. The heroes of the hour. Dreamtime on the dire side, leading 1-0 in the best of 3. Super will be playing the Wisp. He drops down an Observer Ward. Dreamy U on the Rubik. They also dropped a ward here to block the camp. We have Air playing the Lifestealer. XDD on the Tiny. They'll be going for the dual lane mid, and that puts in July your profit from last game on the offlane darks here.
Okay, well,
so it is the dual lanes.
For the Radiant side, we've got Team Newbee down a game in the winner bracket finals of the Summit Asia. We've got Banana playing the support Ancient Apparition in the safe lane tri lane. Hao on the farming Spectre. Sansheng playing the Disruptor. Solo mid's going to be Mu on the Magnus. And finally, in the offlane, Zhao Wei, the Director on the Centaur. What? He just telekinesis a creep?
Oh, I didn't have my camera there.
Yeah, okay.
He
just randomly telekinesis a creep. I don't know what. It looked like a weird Perfect World server lag issue, but no, he just threw up a creep in the air and dropped it down.
This is not fun for Rubik. His base damage is kind of
mid lane. Moose being chased really deep. He's actually in trouble.
He toss, no mana for it though.
Oh.
No spirits either. He should be okay.
Yeah, they really put the pressure on him right off the bat though.
Meanwhile, in July almost died bottom lane, so that distracting. I was like, wait, what? He used.
Yeah, I'm like, LD, watch top. He telekinesis to creep. Meanwhile, they're going for a kill mid lane.
Come on, God, you're supposed to have my back, man.
Don't worry, I put.
That's on me if I miss the kills. That's loser talk if I blame you.
Moo's already got his bottle though, so he had the double branch and 2 Tengos pulled, so super bottle rush. He only has 1 last hit, but he has his bottle.
That's so big. Doesn't die and gets the bottle open.
Yeah.
Now he'll just be bottle crowing. Super not going for any of the stacks though. They didn't break these trees down. They haven't stacked these successfully yet. Top lane. They'll lift Chow 8. They throw him back. He's still got the boots here. He'll take some decent chip damage. Has a stomp ready if he needs it. The tether comes in from the Wisp though, but he gets off the 2 hero stomp. The tether slow. Might be enough. First blood. Ah, they get it.
Wow, that was a super clutch rotation from Super. That's just so...
Super clutch rotation indeed.
You just don't expect that. Like, what's a Wisp doing rotating to the tri-lane when he's meant to be with the Tiny or he's meant to be stacking neutrals? That's just like an unheard of rotation, and DT just like reinventing the metagame here, it feels like.
Yeah, they are very creative. Bottles up now for Super. That's really going to help the Tiny's mana issues mid, and the other issue is the Radiant team didn't have an Observer Ward to spot that rotation. They have just this ward over here. No. And then they warded their side of the map.
Yep. I think this is fairly... Like, you give your offlane 1 hero to kind of block pulls or scout those games.
They've tossed in Mu. He'll skewer XDD out. Okay. Sangsheng maybe can drop a glimpse. No, he's just got a glimpse. He doesn't even have Thunderstrike. He can glimpse back Super, though. Might keep him
following up.
alive, though.
He's got a Tengu as well, so...
Level 1 ganking Disruptor. That is very underwhelming.
Yeah, he had the invis, so he thought maybe he could make something happen, but...
They failed on their D ward bottom as well. This is a
Oh,
slightly unusual ward block.
Yeah.
That's
Double sentries. Both sentries miss. Yikes. That's painful.
And these supports need levels, and they can't go jungle. Ancient Apparition and Disruptor. That's a huge disaster for Newbee.
DT start is fantastic here. And Rubik at this stage, like, Centaur's hit level 3, he can't really... He's harassing, but he's taking as much damage as... I think I'd prefer just see him going for pulls and stacks at this point. Lifestealer can find just decent farm under his tower with the stout shield and damage he has.
Once he gets phase boots, like you said, he can deal with the Centaur on his own. The Rubik could just be getting levels right now.
Yeah. Courier coming mid, that's the bottle being refilled. I think that's the Wisp early bottle. So he's bottle crowing, but it's on behalf of the Tiny, really.
Just a casual harassing avalanche here from XDD. Yeah. And Super, 4 minutes. He's going to start the stacking now, it looks like.
Okay. Nah, yeah, he'll... Oh, yeah, he's going to start stacking. So I was looking at the Rubik. He's going to get his first pull off as well at the same time, so... I think this is nice. Like, it's just so close to the mid lane, and then you can just tether back in to help XDD. 4-minute rune's coming, and they want to contest top lane. Top river.
No rune for Moo. He walks back into them. Not going to go for the toss forward into the avalanche. I think they need the double damage from the avalanche to get that.
Yeah. And bottom lane, haste rune picked up by the AA. So Darkseer comes in, forces AA to actually pick up the rune rather than save it for the mag.
Yeah, Xiaowei does give up the first blood, but he's still getting more out of the offlane than Injulai is. Injulai is only level 2, and there's only a single stack for him.
Yeah. I think it's still good for DT, because they're getting farm on 2 core heroes early on, I guess. I guess Mag's getting farm mid too, so in theory it's working fine.
It just comes down to like what they do with it in the mid game. Does Moo find some good openings with his first RP? Does he get a good rune? If not, then yeah, you'd rather have the Tiny and Lifestealer farming.
Yeah. Lifestealer has the phase boots we were talking about, so we'll see if he can maybe go for some more kills on the Centaur. See another Wisp rotation, and we've got ourselves a kill, so who knows what Super's capable of.
Avalanche is there. They want to toss him back towards this tower, perhaps. XDD sauces him all the way back, way into tower range. Shockwave's there. Moo. He doesn't have bottle charges. He's got 2 stick charges. Keeps on dropping low. XDD can run him down here. He can toss in the Wisp. That's teamwork, folks.
Super even getting the last hit for his efforts there. So
I like the Wisp getting some last hits because you get some early. We saw what happens when Wisp doesn't have farm and Tiny Wisp. Like, you get your early boots, you can work towards the Soul Rain or the Tranquil boots, and not be total food in the mid game.
And he went. I think he started with like 2 pulled Tengos. He went super bottle rush on the mid Wisp. Maybe bought the Courier or something, but he had no items when he came to lane, just going for the bottle.
That was really nice Tiny play. That's a fun tactic in pubs. Is just if you're up melee versus melee, try to toss them back into your tower as the wave dies. But doing it in a pro game, quite impressive. Xiaowei might go down here. The stomp comes through, but the rage was still ongoing in air. We'll find the Xiaowei kill. DT just rolling through Newbee right now.
Yeah, tricky to time that stomp, but nicely played at the same time. Air, just the fast phase boots. This is why you don't rush a Midas on Lifesteal. He can still go back for the Midas. I think that's a good idea. I mean, it's not he doesn't have to, but I think it's perfectly reasonable. But getting phase boots as fast as possible is very important.
Oh, look at
this.
He's gonna take the regen and then tether back and.
Oh!
Dodges the surprise move went for that. Wow. Desperate for a kill.
Yeah, he really was. And that's a regen applied to both Wisp and Tiny.
Yeah, that's the thing, is he was just waiting to tether him with the regen rune active, so they both heal to full.
Terrible start for Newbee. How's Spectre doing? Spectre's going to have a Vanguard, which is, he'll go Vanguard, phase boots, probably into a Radiance. Fairly standard Spectre build.
Like, their team fight lineup is great, but their supports don't have levels because they failed the double D ward failed. Yep. Level 3 Disruptor, level 3 Ancient Apparition, Wisp already level 4, Rubik already level 5. These supports should be closer. DT should have a slight lead because of the dual lanes, but shouldn't be this bad. The D warding just didn't work out.
No, it's really interesting how important the warding in the offlane is in the current metagame. But
we've seen teams getting very creative with their warding as well.
They did make up for this by getting a lot of Radiant side neutral stacks. Like, they've stacked up 2 big camps here, and this is probably going to be...
Centaur can farm these reasonably well. Magnus can farm them pretty well. Spectre with Empower could, but not going to see Empower.
I don't think we see Spectre get too much of that, but I think Magnus and Centaur can team up, or even just Magnus himself on his own with some Shockwave spam.
He's really the only one. Maybe Disruptor.
So Wisp Tiny do not feel safe mid lane, and with good reason. Those three Newbee heroes there. They back off, take a bit of the jungle stacks, and back mid XCD goes.
They just need to get level 6 on the Wisp, and they can dunk this Ancient Apparition anytime he's in the lane. Even the Spectre will die to that combo until he gets Vanguard. I think once he does, he'll be safe.
And I like the just go back, kill your neutral stack, because it does get Wisp that level 6 just that little bit faster. So
yeah, not there yet. It's level 5.
Yeah. Like, super hoping for an 8-minute rune, because not so much for himself, but XDD desperately needs it, and they're not going to find it, though. Sansheng snatches that from bottom lane.
That's the other nice thing about the Tiny Wisp mid, is just rune control becomes so much easier when you have 2 heroes to go for it.
Yeah, Newbee had been really good about it and constantly...
Oh boy, look at these shenanigans from DT. So clever.
Oh, he's got Arcane Boots as well, so that's actually Tiny much needed mana. He had 0 mana, but he gets the Tether plus double Arcane Boots, and...
That's like 2/3 of his mana pool.
They're killing how? They're like, Spectre's the only thing... You've shut down 2 lanes already, let's shut down the final one, which is going to be Spectre at bottom.
And he's farming towards his
lane ward will see it coming, though.
They surge in the Rubik, but like you said, Vision is here. Surprised they didn't smoke for that.
I don't know if he knows there's an infested... he doesn't know for sure, but he should have a pretty good idea with all this aggression coming.
He still sees the surged in Rubik and is definitely not happy with this and will retreat.
Yeah, you surge in a hero to try and initiate, like, you know DT are thinking they can get a kill, which means there's enough damage. I guess with Tiny they can get that kill.
Yeah, there will be a TP back mid from Super. He'll just work towards his level 6 while the rest of the team pushes. They can use Toss to bring this tower down quickly, which they'll do.
Ooh, mass TP's bottom though. And there's a Spectre ulti.
But can they get a good initiation off is the question. They lift up Moo to start things off. Now they glimpse back in one. He's caught. Initially, Dreamy U will go down. Banana taking a heavy right-click damage from air. The toss is there, throwing Xiaowei back. But he'll look to rejoin the fight. The Spectre, no dagger.
1 for 1. And like with all those TPs and the Spectre ultimate, that was not good. And
RP's down. And now they can go in with the Tiny Wisp.
Oh, this is going to be painful.
Prepare for pain. Ava, toss. I'll back off, and they can go again. These heroes don't have TPs out.
Tiny's a bit low. I think he needs to heal up at this stage. Hope for the 10-minute rune bottom, and then maybe we see him go back in. Wisp is healing him up with the bottle, though, so not bad.
The thing is, they TP'd in bottom, so they were not able to run away. Like, they had to stand there and fight.
Yeah, this Wisp has had the worst rune. Like, every rune he goes for is on the other side.
He got the regen on top.
I guess, and that was a really important rune. But that's the only rune this game I think he's gotten, really.
Yeah, he's like a few runes, but very important runes, I guess.
Yeah,
it's all about the big ones for this Wisp.
XDD just keeps on fighting. He's been like below half HP for such a long time here.
We're gonna see that clever initiation again, the toss and the open wounds.
He's all about the farm, and this tier 1 tower is a guarantee. Like they know there's no Spectre ultimate. They know all the TPs were already used. So
see, here's the problem for Newbee. What do they do if they're not team fighting? They don't split push.
They farm Spectre, but that's like.
Their gank is
the plan B.
Their gank is great if they have items, but they have nothing. Centaur's Tranquil Boots and a Magic Stick. Mag doesn't have a blink. They don't have level 6 on their supports. They don't do anything if they're not team fighting right now. And DT can do whatever they want. They can split push and they can team fight. And they can just take it late game. Well, they haven't gone for the Midas. They have gone double drum. So at least Newbee, if they're not dying, aren't getting out farmed that badly in theory.
Yes. Yeah.
But that's assuming they're not dying, which is... Lifestealer just destroys these supports.
I think Lifestealer could hold relocate top. The Centaur going to stampede away from this. The toss in from the Wisp. He gets actually slowed by the stampede.
Well, still glimpses back one, though. The Avalanche not going to connect. The Tiny's out of the fight now. And there's some backup coming, but the orbs might be enough by Super. He will bring him down.
And relocates out. That's solo XP and farm, so Super will be happy.
Level 6.5 now.
Well.
And still no blink on Moo.
Yeah. It's struggle town for Newbee.
It's just amazing how, like, silly and helpless DT has been making teams look lately. It's one thing to win, but they're just winning in dominating fashion.
They've got some definite flair about them with just their creative play. Interesting and unique rotations, because they're not just going for your standard timings with smoke gangs, with pushes. They're just going for very unconventional stuff, which is catching teams by surprise. And that's what you got to do against the top Chinese teams, because these guys all play very methodically and are used to your standard conventional play. So you put them off their guard and you take them by surprise.
I agree. And I think the other cool thing is just watching them evolve, because we were casting a lot of Rising Stars even before the TI3 qualifiers, and during those, after those, and they were a very innovative team in terms of drafting, and the way they would lane was quite unusual for Chinese Dota at the time, but where they really struggled was just the polish and execution.
Yeah.
But now they have that same flair, and I feel like they've just leveled it up. Like,
it's so crisp watching them play. Like, everything seems to have definite purpose with their movement.
there's still some room for improvement. I felt like they could have stacked more on the Wisp. They could have broken down those trees and gone for double stacks instead of singles, but that's more nitpicking. Like, their overall strategy seems quite solid.
It's also a trade, like, I think you could have stacked more, but, like, as far as cutting down those trees, they went for the 5-man smoke into the enemy jungle, so you can't actually go cut down those trees without a hero to do it with you, so.
That's true.
It's like a trade-off. Do you go for the 5-man smoke, or do you try and get the double stack?
Getting caught. The avalanche off the mark. They could still toss him back. Oh, they toss him straight up. Now the Centaur gets deployed. It can be stolen by the Rubik here. It will be stolen by Dreamy U. Then the stomp. Xiaowei can't find the opening. Skewer in. He will catch 2 in the RP. This is the opening, and Newbee will seize it. I don't know that they want to stick around for this. Air's thinking about this.
XCD has combo.
Can't find the opening, though. Doesn't feel confident. Get out of here. He says XDD trying to tank the tower shots a bit. Not trying to, but is.
We'll see what happens.
This range creep might be dying here soon, though.
Wisp has a relocate when he respawns as well, so this is potentially danger for Newbee if they try and... Yeah, they're gonna... I think they're just gonna leave Lifestealer alone.
Well, in the end, really nice fight for Newbee, considering how the game's going. Still...
That initial stun missing always... You've always got to hit that lead-up avalanche. Get that first kill.
Yeah, avalanche is not the easiest stun to hit.
Not by any means.
It's targetable, but it's just like the way it takes a little while to actually proc. Here comes the relocate, though. Dreamy U's come in deep behind enemy lines, and perhaps a bit too deep. He'll go down to start the fight.
Yeah, they will lose How in the meantime, though. Air. Oh, no, he won't get the kill. He gets surged, but decides not to chase.
Oh, he didn't expect to be surged. He was just ready to back off right as Angel Eye surged him in.
Centaur and Spectre both surviving on like 100 HP there. They'll get the Tier 1 tower out of this, but...
That was just miscommunication. Like, he could have been surged in, right-clicked him, and then ran away.
Yep.
Unfortunate.
I think they could have got more out of that one, DT Club.
They still get a Tier 1, I guess. It's not too bad. But yeah, they should have had the Spectre kill, and that's big because he's up to 1,300 gold, not spending his gold. It looks probably like a relic coming next.
Yes. And the one kind of, I guess, nice thing for Newbee right now is that Tiny's been fighting so much, he's actually not farming very well. He's got his phase drums, he's sing on... I think just, he buys his point booster now, but his farm's not that impressive.
And they weren't stacking in the laning stage that much. Like you mentioned, they're getting runes and just being active instead, but this is normally that stage of the game where a team like Fnatic would have a Tiny with a point booster. He'd have like a quad stack of Ancients ready for as soon as he finished his eggs.
Stampede Top. That was just Xiaowei saving his own life with that Stampede Top. God, when you've got to start using Stampedes to save yourself from a solo lifestealer, you're not in a good place.
It's been a while since he's felt comfortable. That's for sure.
Yeah.
They might go in top, though.
Yeah. DT have the vision there. They've also got the relocate. So Wisp is on his own for now. Doesn't have a good relocate partner. We saw last time the relocate Rubik, not the best plan, but...
It's like, wait, what? I'm in the middle of 5 heroes? That wasn't on my to-do list. They are stacking Ancients now, though. So DT, recognizing that they don't have to win the game now. They can take it late.
Yeah, I think their late game's pretty damn good.
Newbee's the probably scariest, I'd say, once they get the Radiance and they have, like, just what the Blink Dagger on Centaur, the levels on the supports. Still no level 6 on Disruptor. Yeah. They just need the basics, like the Radiance and then just a few core items, and that's where they're extremely scary. DT, that's probably the timing window where they don't want to team fight too much. They want to go for pick-off, split push, and farm.
Alright, well, Tier 1 tower getting worked away on here, and we'll see DT get this uncontested, so...
Wisp gets the last hit again. Carry Wisp, man. Super is taking all the towers. Towers and kills.
He's not the mech buyer for the team, like, so he could theoretically have something like that fast, but may just pick up something like a casual vitality booster. I think is always nice for Wisp, and...
Yeah. Ogre Club's not too bad. I could honestly see a BKB this game, just to make sure you can get off all your spells during Static Storm. I think that would be good.
For DT, though, they've taken all the Tier 1 towers. They're on the Dire side. If they want to think about Roshan, they can. They haven't got, like, a Dream Rosh lineup, but Dire side, you're good enough to take Roshan.
I'm really surprised that didn't stack. The Triceratops was, like, right here. But
for the Ancients?
Yeah.
Oh, didn't see.
It's got a big rear end, I guess. A little too much junk in the trunk.
It's the Lifestealer Rubik Infest again.
They've got an Observer Ward here. Did they? I don't think they saw the smoke, though. Don't believe so.
I'm not sold on this Rubik Infest.
Well,
Infest
the idea is
tiny.
you can bring a third hero in, because you can just tether to the Rubik, I guess.
Yeah, but
Or you could just bring Tiny
if you
Wisp
go
in.
for a relocate, you want to go like Wisp Tiny. So
Why don't you just infest the Tiny?
yeah, exactly.
That's the thing.
Or even infest Darkseid, since he's going to be more of a front line. Let's surge myself in and go big. But I don't know if they're going to fight top lane. I think they may just go for the tier 2 tower trade at bottom. They're not really in a good position to fight top, at least not yet. They need to get multiple TPs coming soon if they want to defend top.
This is where Newbee starts to get strong. They'll level up a bit with the double blink. And I think DT should go for trades.
Yeah.
So our team fights Darkseer's mech, and he's level 8. No wall, no blinks on them. Their initiation's quite eh.
Yeah.
So I like their transition here, not trying to take fights.
Oh,
But
Newbie are ready.
they have RP online. They have a Centaur ult as well. This tower is not in deny range yet. There's a Rage from Lifesteal. He'll bring it down. Will they RP this? Will they Centaur Stampede in? Will they glimpse back? They'll get one. They'll go for the RP. No, not just yet. Skewering back XDD to start the fight. He's eliminated immediately. And July runs into the Static Storm. He wanted to get off a spell, but can't quite do it.
There's a stolen Ice
Still
Blast.
an RP. There's still an RP available. They haven't even dropped it yet. He says, thanks for the vac. You've pulled me into that. But there's no follow-up.
And Mood maybe now in trouble. He gets slowed by the open moods. He's going to go down super very low. The earn charge. Not enough. The Spectral Dagger will finish him off, though. Oh.
I think was he relocating home?
Yeah. It was mid-relocate when the Spectral Dagger reached him.
Wow, that would have been amazing if he made out.
Yeah.
But Hal did not die, and Hal is up to 3,600 gold.
Yeah, this is... There's still some decent... I think this is like a 50-50 game. I don't even think you can call it hope at this point. I think Newbee are well in this game. They're not really behind like the gold graphs suggest they are.
Oh, they technically they are down in gold. I didn't realize it was by that much.
Yeah, it's all the towers. It's like a...
These supports are
four-
so poor. 1,100 net worth on Songcheng.
Yeah. It's a 3-tower advantage. And yeah, like you say, the supports are just dirt poor. Sanshang as well as...
This stage of the
Banana.
game, though, Spectre with the Radiance should do much more than Tiny with the makings of an Eggs, even if he has a completed Eggs.
Yeah, and that's where... when DT get their next couple of items up, I think they'll still be looking pretty strong even against the Radiance.
Oh, yeah. And they're tanking up as well. Rubik, Force Staff up, he'll probably go for some HP next. Each apparition will connect on Hal bottom, just proving to be a bit of a nuisance. And there's an Ogre Club on the Wisp, so I think we'll see a BKB from Super. And as mentioned, I think
And
very
Dacia,
good choice
yeah.
against Static Storm.
They're going multiple... BKBs is a great item against Spectre. So much of his damage is actually magical.
And the Disruptor. I like it a lot.
One of these weird carry here, like hard carries who actually has magic damage output because of how Dispersion works. And, well, Radiance as well.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So DT, game plan should probably be stack Ancient, split push, farm the Ags on Tiny, and just angle for like the 30 to 35 minute window for when you take most of your big fights.
At this point, Spectre...
Newbee will want to fight from like 25 to 30 minutes, mostly, I would say.
Spectre doesn't have Radiance yet, but May is... I mean, not May as well as far as fighting right now, but like I don't think DT can do anything to stop Spectre getting Radiance right now.
Maybe with a relocate. He is not that tanky. Sitting at 850 health. That is a Tiny Wisp relocate kill if they can hit the combo.
Yeah, I suspect it's just TP in top lane, but there is 2 heroes backing him up. Jowett with a blink as well as a Stampede and AA there, so...
No infest?
Would be very ill.
Are they going Roche? They just saw Spectre
Roche is
TP top?
Yeah. There is a Haunt, but... Oh, it's actually no mana. Oh, there we go. Gets mana boots up.
But they're so far away. How quickly will DT do Roche? Tiny?
Where's that
Just got his axe.
Get that overcharge going. There you go.
Yeah, they also have the Leicester open wounds if they want to get a little HP back from this. They'll need to break the...
No.
Do they have anything to break it, actually?
You can Fade Bolt. Yeah, Fade Bolt's the best bet. I think they've already used it once. The open wounds is on cooldown.
Okay, yeah, he did use it. Yeah, this is a very nice spell for Roshi.
Nice timing. This is hard to like. Even if Newbee suspect if they can't really go venture onto the other side of the map where they could just walk into a tiny combo, a Darkseid wall there.
That being said, they just got Radiance. Maybe they just jump DT as they run out of the pit. Oh, the Tiny's going mid. This could be like the most unfortunate Roche ever. But no, they're heading the southern way.
They also see Newbee missing in numbers here, apart from the Spectre at mid, and that's like, well, the rest of the thing can be anywhere, because Spectre can just show up with the ulti.
Score 6-8, 22 minutes in. DT, solid lead on all the graphs, up by about 8k gold, 2k experience, but still anybody's ball game, it feels. This will be the window for Newbee where they're really hitting their stride. The Radiance is out, the Vanguard's online. One good RP, hoof stomp, double edge haunt. Ain't that professional? Yeah, you're not winning that team fight if those all connect. They'll want to find pickoffs for DT and maybe counter initiate. They do have the Aegis. Here they go, bottom.
Smoke. This is kind of like you
this
can
is
be pickoff
such a
or team
risky
fight.
jump.
Yeah.
This is so risky to dive at the tier 3 with everyone else missing.
You don't want to be jumping the Spectre. There's a Magnus as well as a Centaur for the counter initiation, and that's just...
That was like a, if he comes here, we'll kill him kind of thing.
You have to use everything and blow him up instantly as well.
Super's going to drop down some wards, but there's a Radiant Observer ward. They've spotted out these DT heroes. They are fighting their way against Aegis. I don't know if they want to commit, but Moo's moving in. Looking for an RP. They could stampede into this. No, they'll just D-ward.
Okay.
DT are doing a nice job of just establishing themselves in Newbee's jungle. Sure, they don't get kills, but they're farming their woods. They're keeping DT bottled up, or Newbee bottled up, and hey, the gold graph keeps them going their way.
Yeah, I think this is where they want to try to get a gem just for the map control. Like all these Radiant wards are scanning out a lot of their movements, and it also just helps figure out when you're smoked up as well, because you know exactly, you see no heroes on the map through your wards, but if you just go dark map, you don't know if they're smoked, you don't know if they're just farming your neutrals, so I think they want to try and get a gem, although I guess it's like, well, Super's trying to farm BKB, Rubik's maybe your best bet once he has the money for it, but we'll see.
Yeah, for now, Dreamy will retreat, and XDD continues farming his woods. Up to 2150 gold. Manta style feels a little... Is there anything good to remove this game? Doesn't help you against Static Storm. There's not much, really. I'd say maybe just a BKB or a Saltcrest kind of game.
Yeah. The casual Yasha we sometimes saw. We saw that from the Tiny today, where it was like a Saltcrest Yasha BKB, but...
Yeah, that's not bad. It kind of delays a bigger impact item. It does help your farm speed a bit. But if there's a team fight in like the next 3 minutes and he's just gone for a Yasha, then he's not fighting effectively. Whereas if he has a BKB, could be a game changer. They'll smoke up. We'll see air in a few seconds. But should they kill the Lifestealer? What do they get off of that is the main issue.
Pinging him out here. He's actually...
Blink stop, but he's already raged. Air with the fancy footwork.
He didn't even see them coming. There was no dire vision of that. That was just...
No, they could have just Blink RP'd, though, if they really wanted the kill.
That was...
I guess they didn't want to blow RP for
that. Was some crazy rage reactions, though. Like, he was focused, ready for that.
In the own zone. And now they'll just trade. They'll start working on towers. Wisp is here in the backline, Super ready for the relocate out if necessary, and they'll force out a glyph. Good trade already.
Okay. Just fall back. They're probably going to fall back a bit here. Lifesteal is nowhere nearby. Same for the Darkseer at bottom. Darkseer is level 9, and he really needs to find some levels in farm, I feel like. Less so the farm, but his levels, just he needs that level 11 with the 2 points in the wall. I even need level 12, because his vacuum not going to be maxed out until he hits level 12 as well, so... I think Darkseer really underleveled means DT do not want to fight too much right now. There's a lot of underleveled heroes. Look at these Radiant supports. They're level 7, level 8, so...
This whole series has been underleveled heroes. Both teams just... And especially DT, just so good at creating fear and forcing the enemy team to play defensively. Like, the Darkseer has been getting farm, but it's just been Iron Shard creeps pushing down the lane with him sitting in the trees and out of EXP range.
Yeah, he's going to have a mech BKB at 26 minutes, which is fantastic, but... He's caught up now on the level. I think he's doing a lot better, but...
Very tactical game from both teams. Nobody really playing aggressive. No balls to the wall aggression, just...
Even with an Aegis.
It's
like, we'll sit back.
It's a farming Aegis. Next one will be the fighting Aegis.
Perhaps. You say that, LD. You say that.
Well, I mean, they're running Tiny Wisp Lifesteal. They can farm for a lot longer than this if they want.
Like, these teams know how long today's been, and they say, let's make it even longer. Let's make LD and Gods run the gauntlet. The gauntlet of Chinese Dota.
That's what we have K-Pop Toast here for, to entertain us with his old Southern yarns and maybe make us some coffee.
Wow. That hostility. I
just really need coffee.
I'm good. I don't need coffee. That's... No. Wow, they're stealing the Ancients here. This is not bad.
It's a double stack. But yeah, it's just like
anything
every little bit that Newbee isn't getting is problematic. DT will outfarm them.
Yeah, that's up.
Spectre is not going to keep up with a Tiny Wisp Lifestealer. No. These heroes are way more confident to go farm anywhere on the map, and also just faster in the case of the
It's a 2-core lineup versus a 1-core lineup, and that 1-core can have an illusion made of him by the Darkseer to be turned on him, so I like DT's late game a bit better for sure.
Moo is invis, though. He'll reveal this smoke gank. Is he going to go in? No, he backs
Sentry's
off.
Too late. Now
the teammates.
Ooh, Moo doesn't scout them out on the high ground, though. He could have poked his head up there and seen those two heroes, but...
I was really hoping he just jumped that and we'd have some blood, one way or the other. That would have not have been a good engage, though. You can't just go for the tiny. They'll glimpse him back to slow this push.
He just wants to blow his Aegis, and this Aegis has... Don't get back, get back. It's going to expire like 5 seconds. XDD, man. Give me a heart attack.
Now they smoke. They know the Aegis is about to wear off, and DT beat a hasty retreat.
He'll get the regen. He'll be full HP at least, so even if a fight breaks out, he'll be... Oh,
yeah, he just started right-clicking creeps.
They're expecting there to be like 3 to 4 heroes behind Hal, maybe not smoked up ahead of Hal, though, and that's exactly what's going on from Newbee. Oh, they're going for the wraparound.
They have a BKB on Injuli. He could quickly dodge this.
We've seen the lifesteal do it. Can Injuli do it on the Darkseer, though?
No, it's the same thing. It's instant.
Okay. So Spectre's really pushing... Like, pushing high ground here in the mid lane is...
I like how the tier 1 is considered high ground this game.
Yeah.
They still don't have the tier 1 mid.
You're like, go from the river, you're going to go uphill. Like, it's a high ground, but no.
So it's ready.
They know this Spectre has his entire team behind him. Like, that's...
Oh, they go in now with the hoof stomp to start off the double edge follow-up. They're working on XDD. Haven't killed him off yet. He's been relocated out. Great play by the Wisp, keeping him alive. Now the RP falls. Dreamy U, he only stole Shockwave, but the RP was basically wasted. XDD returns to the fight.
Back
he returns, packing a payload. But, yeah, returns all the way to the fountain with the glimpse.
He TP'd in and then got glimpsed out and then super, like, relocated in but didn't tether him, unfortunately. Well, I mean, it was like a half-second react. But DT lose no one. They also almost killed
And RP's down. They just go. Go fight.
Yeah, they're big. That just goes to show, like, how...
They didn't use Haunt. Hal could have gotten that kill with Haunt, but I think just the extra illusion would have been enough.
Newbee just seems to lack damage to get killing blows here. Like, they've got two, like, they've got such too heavy of a focus on the team fight and no actual damage.
Well, in comes the Centaur, but it's rage dodged by Air, who just keeps on smacking you at this tower. Already has a Reaver online. He is big, he is bad, and he's going in on Hal now. Dreamy U will get caught, but they're focusing on the Spectre. The Spectre in exchange for the Rubik. Not a good trade, and it goes the way of DT. Now diving for more. No rage available. The Haunt buyback comes, but to what end? Air's been skewered up to the high ground, but he just walks back down to the low ground looking for the Centaur. Does blink away in the nick of time. Still, though, he's still healthy, and he gets glimpsed back too far. He just heads the other direction. It's like, great, I can go back in. Do they toss? Do they avalanche?
The Air is just king of the castle right now. Unfortunately, XDD's in trouble. Oh, it's gone down. Get chain stun really nicely there.
The Wisp relocate brings him home again. Super with 2 saves in a row.
Does he fight? They've got vision. They know what's waiting for them.
There's still no RP.
What's the call?
Centaur's nearly dead.
Tiny's TPing. Wisp is like, I'm out of here.
Oh, Super does have a BKB TP. Oh, I think he could have just gone for it. If he had immediately BKB TP'd, they had... I don't know if they had enough right-click.
Especially like after the tether, so they can't actually right-click you.
But
like if you...
he didn't know how close RP was to being down and didn't want to blow a 10-second BKB charge. So
safe to Tiny. Lifesteal was doing some serious work that fight. I'm surprised. I was actually like, wow, this guy's actually going to just survive this entire fight.
One thing we didn't talk about is that Lifestealer matches up very well against Spectre. Yeah. Spectre's normally built tanky, Lifestealer, magic immunity, and just having the passive feast lets you trade effectively with Spectre. Yep. Oh. And you could fight your way through that dispersion between the rage, and even when it's not up, open wounds allowing you to lifesteal a lot.
And you'll have somewhat amplified damage from the tiny AC now, so there's lots of things going the way of DT, and it's 9 kills apiece here, 31 minutes in, a 12k gold lead for DT. I do feel they're starting to just edge out Newbee a little bit. Like, Newbee really had a drawn-out fight there where it felt like they weren't killing much, but just barely bring down the Lifestealer, and then that leads to the Wisp as well. But if they didn't kill that Lifestealer, he was about to go big again. Like, if he had time to get off another rage with an open wound, he Lifesteals back up, gets a kill or two, and Newbee lose that fight.
It's almost got a heart.
Yeah, that's scary. This Lifesteal with heart, and then +1 item, I think, is just going to be doing so much work.
They are going to make their move on mid, perhaps, showing 5 heroes. At least showing 3 or 4 and having 5.
Yeah. Both teams, I think, have scouted out Roshan. AA with the Ice Vortex and DT just popped their head in to check that one out.
Well, DT definitely in the better position to do Rosh.
Yeah. And no
Newbee
TP
just don't Rosh very well in general. They don't have that much pure right click.
Yeah.
Like, stomps off the mark on Super. He has BKB anyway if he's actually worried.
Yeah. And I think Newbee...
RP is ready. Do they want to go on XDD? They'll skewer him back as the Wisp relocate coming. XDD dropping quite low. And once again, the Wisp, the BKB gets him out safely. Great play. Now Air straight onto Sungshung. He'll bring down a support. There was a glimpse back, but it's a little avail. Hal on the run. Air working on move. He's got a 4-staff. He can 4-staff down the cliff. He'll make it out safely.
Here come Wisp Tiny. They're back in action. They're looking to chase down How. Maybe in some trouble. The toss in from Super. Oh my gosh.
This Wisp doesn't actually want to go in though. RP's ready. It connects on 2, but where's the goddamn follow-up? The Centaur blinks in. It's just not enough. XDD still very healthy. Lifestealer suddenly has a heart. Run. Run, banana.
No.
That's a very dead banana.
Go Scepter, but that's not gonna. That's just gonna delay the inevitable, as he will end up going down. But
DT activate crush mode and win another fight.
That could have gone so much worse for Newbee there. Like that RP saved Hao's life and possibly more, but they can fall back, take Roshan now themselves, get an Aegis either on Tiny or on the Lifestealer, and just it feels like DT just can't be stopped at this point.
I don't know how I'm feeling about the Magnus pick.
It was a weird last pick. Like, they already had such good team fight between Centaur, Disruptor, and AA. Like, what do you need the extra... Like, it was the team fight that goes through the BKB/Rage of the Lifestealer. Like, that was the, I guess, idea behind it, but...
I really like the 4th pick Lifestealer as well. That's great against Disruptor and H Apparition. No. That's Lifestealer's done work.
It was a very smart draft, I think, from DT. They've just been... like drafting one step ahead of their opponents, it seems.
I gotta go back to Invoker got banned in the 5th ban. Yeah. How would you like to have had like say an Invoker for this game for Newbee instead of a Magnus?
You know that I guess no one's not well known for their Invoker play is the big thing. Like Moo's
yeah, Moo's not really known for his Invoker.
I can't think of that many Invoker.
Moo's more known for like his Storm, his I guess his Dragon Knight lately, even though it's not the most exciting hero. Gets the job done.
His TA, like you know. But yeah, we'll see. What's the plan going to be here? So DT, gets his heart.
And Night Stalker. Where's the Moon Night Stalker? We haven't seen that in ages.
It's been a long while since Night Stalker. Titan's been playing Night Stalker. No other team dares pick it though. I don't know. It's still not a bad hero. They run it in like a more farming-esque role.
That hero's main issue is always he doesn't keep up if you don't have a snowball. Yeah. Or I know like Titan like to go Midas on him sometimes. Yeah, if you don't get a farming-oriented start, you're in trouble.
XCD with the Aegis, so I imagine DT will be looking to at least bring down... well, there's only one Tier 2 tower left at top lane, so... Go for another smoke soon, try and force the issues up there. Super does get the gem, finally. At this stage, like, a single Observer can win you a team fight, so you may as well deny your opponents any vision possible.
Yeah, and a one team fight at 35 minutes is a potential lane of Rax, just potentially straight-up game.
Yeah. And we'll see even... It looks like Air's actually
they actually smoked under the...
Gosh, they immediately just pop out. They're like...
That's a rage D-ward. God damn it.
Yeah. They may just switch
through the enemy jungle.
I think they're going to go... Yeah, they don't find that one. They're going to maybe check for some more. Air's not seeing anything just yet.
Spectre Manta.
No, Dark's is top, so they don't really want to fight here. Okay, they're going to group up towards that top tier 2. But... Yeah, it seems pretty reasonable and just safe play from DT, not wanting to take too many chances.
Newbee do not want to be just bottled up in their base. Like, what are they farming for? Not to say they can't win this late, but that is not their lineup strength. Even Spectre, to me, is not an ultra late game carry. He's more of like just a mid-game team fight beast. He goes pretty late, but
yeah,
he's not the ultimate late game hero.
And with Spectre buying his Manta, he's got no buyback. A death here could just be GG. That's a
XDD just casually steps aside. This Tiny is quite nimble.
What's Xiaowei thinking there? Like,
even if he hits that, he's got Aegis.
He's kind of trying to bait in some sense because if they go in him, like the mag gets a good RP. So, but it's still just crazy. He's just going for casual blink stuns. Okay, he's got the 4-staff out.
Double force.
Yeah.
XDD says screw that.
Oh, he needs to be careful. He may go down to a glimpse here if he's not careful.
He will get glimpse back in. Moo comes in, skewers him back onto the high ground. Nice glimpse from Moo, but one club. That's a quarter of Moo's health.
What's the escape plan? Here's the cavalry. He's marching in first. Goes onto Xiaowei. Stampede being used now as well. And with the static storm.
Oh, what an RP! Moo's found 4, but the H apparition ult, the follow-up isn't enough. The back wall counter initiates, and suddenly DT have turned the fight at least decently well.
Fully commit to the fight because if Spectre dies, it's game over. I think.
Nice and fast retreat out.
Okay.
Well, considering they had Aegis, that is a great defense from Newbee. 4 hero. I don't know how he finds a 4 hero RP in the midst of that.
Mess that fight. But
Jesus.
Static Storm, like they had to group up there because the Static Storm was like all in this area, so they kind of tried to avoid it, ran to the left, and that set up that RP. And I guess is the simplest explanation for it.
That's a good point. It's just hard to go high ground against
weird.
Newbee. I feel like your best bet of your DT is just to push in all the lanes, keep on out farming them, and find pickoffs first. Because if you go high ground, that's where Newbee are at their strongest.
They also got forced to go high ground when they didn't want to, with the Tiny getting pulled up by the skewer, as well as losing it, getting glimpsed closer as well. So it was like, well, DT kind of have to go in there to save his life.
Can you just keep it on the
Yeah.
Well, Newbee, they'll keep on farming their Ancients right now. Moo working his way towards a Refresher Orb. 38 minutes in, DT are on the cusp of a 2-0 victory and a Grand Finals berth. And at this point, is it even fair to give Vici Gaming or Newbee a potential advantage against them in the Grand Finals?
Well, I mean,
I
based
think
on
you've
this
got to say
series,
DT are the favorites after today if they win this 2-0.
at least against Newbee. Like, if it's Vici Gaming, I think, coming through that, I would say...
What's their... I don't know what their record is against Vici.
Okay. All right.
Versus
Vici and DT
Vici.
Club. I'm not sure what if they play. I feel like that's one of those things where I think Vici Game would have a lot of momentum from the lower bracket, and just their experience would give them an edge in the grand finals. But for Newbee, it's like, well, they've been all over the place. So I don't know. I'd favor DT Club over Newbee in the grand finals if DT get the 2-0 here.
Vici is 7-1 against DT, but some of those matches may date back quite a while before. Back to March. Okay, well that's.
It would be an interesting grand finals because, like, right now, Vici Gaming, their only loss was to Newbee in this tournament. It was a best of 3, which was it was a 2-0, but it was still like Vici Gaming just didn't play.
They didn't play
like
that
Vici
well.
Gaming, yeah.
And in order to get there, they'd also have to beat Newbee, so that would be quite fun.
T1 Tower's still up. 40 minutes in.
These Tier 1 towers are
dodges the glimpse with the rage. Lifesteal forced to use rage pretty early in the fight, but hey,
here comes the backstab, and Newbee are about to get caught.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Say hello to XDD. Tony's here. Tony's strong. He can't club him down, but they back him back in, and he's brought down by the wall. Nice back. But the RP, the follow-up, it's been stolen by Dreamio. Forced F in. He hasn't found anyone yet. Just RP's the Spectre before going down. It's all up to Air. Can he bring down How? So How, focusing on Moo, now looks, or Super, now looks to retreat.
How gets out over the trees.
They
with
can't
the
kill this Lifestealer. He's just beastly.
Not
on their own,
Tiny, and that TP out's not going to work, so...
Well, now in comes the Tiny as well. Spectre forced to run. Air. Quite mobile. If he gets a bash, this will be How's doom. Hasn't gotten the bash yet. He'll have another right click. Still doesn't get it. One more. 1v4. One more. Give me a bash. Give me a bash. No, too late.
It was like mid-swipe. Oh, no. He gets the Disruptor instead with the help of the Tiny, but that...
Small consolation. They wanted that Spectre.
Air is just beast right now. Like, he was alone against 3-4 heroes there at the end of that fight, and he's still trying to kill a Spectre of all heroes.
Tiny needs BKB. If Tiny has BKB, he's equally beastly to Lifestealer.
This man to pick up was a terrible idea from XDD, and that fight right there shows it. He walks in, almost blows up the Centaur, but then the Static Storm and a Hoof Stomp comes in, and he just dies. He melts. If he has a BKB there, the Centaur dies, he takes no damage from the Static Storm, he doesn't get silenced, and everything's honkadory, but
yeah.
not.
He can still get one now, and I don't know if Newbee can stop him from farming it, but until he gets it, he is vulnerable. And the other thing is he's probably just counting on this Wisp to keep on bailing him out, because Super has been spectacular, but...
Super's got the BKB, he's like, oh, well, I can BKB and kind of do my part, but you still have to stay alive and do your part.
You still have to negotiate the fight around a static field and static storm and kinetic field.
Oh, refresher on that. Mag has kept Newbee in this game. He's hit some huge RPs this game.
Yeah, the Mag pick didn't do much for them for the first 25 minutes, but I guess this is where Mag really hits a stride, is these late game team fights.
I mean, he does, but at the same time, like, you don't often find as many big RPs as Moo has, and he's delivered.
They're running a triple melee lineup, and Wisp is kind of a melee hero. She's always going to be near the Tiny, so
yeah.
And you could call it a 3.5 melee hero lineup, perhaps.
Both teams getting wards on near this Radiant Ancients. I think Newbee saw the ward being planted, but Roshan respawning. It's a long respawn, full 3 minutes practically. So,
well, guys, get yourself some drinks, relax.
I don't know who. I guess
go buy a Summit ticket bundle while you're at it. We've got some good stretch goals to work towards.
Man,
you have time.
We're getting close to that custom Pudge Wars All-Star match.
Oh, Pudge Wars All-Star match.
I think we're only like 2K away for that. It's not your
well,
everyday
whichever
All-Star
team is
match.
Dendy obviously wins.
Oh,
so.
we'll see.
Duh.
Depends which other teams are making it here, man. I guess there's
Has
no...
Dendy ever lost a 1v1 Pudge match? Out of curiosity. Has he ever played one?
1v1 Pudge matches don't really happen, no.
That's such a dumb matchup. I mean, he's so good at Pudge, right? He should be able to beat anyone else on Pudge. Thing is, if you get hooked, you can always just hook them right back. So it's like
who's actually dealing more damage out of it. It's like whoever has more HP at the start.
Yeah.
It does seem like a pretty dumb 1v1
clowny matchup.
Yeah.
Most 1v1 matchups are pretty dumb. If it's a mirror match, I mean.
Yeah. At this point, DT just, I don't think they try and take Roshan, but they avoid fighting until they have the BKB Tiny. Like they've lost, I'd say 2 fights in a row. Well, not even lost, just not one. Like they've broken even because they have no BKB Tiny in these last few fights. This Darkseid needs to be careful. He's got Hex up, but I'd love to see Injuly get that Blink Dagger. Blink Dagger is just...
glimpse back air, but we'll just rage it.
Oh, Injuly does get hit by the dagger. They have vision of him.
They could go for this Blink Stomp, potentially. 4 staffs available.
Well, they're not chasing that far.
Tower will be denied.
They see Wiz Tiny top, but they can shop anytime. There we go. Tiny, I think, just bought his Ogre Club. Yeah, he's got Ogre Club and Mithril.
He's almost got it. And then once he gets it, then I think that the pendulum swings the other way. And Newbee will be the ones who can't really... Well, who will have a very hard time winning the fight.
Already as it is, without the Tiny BKB, the fights are going even. Like, I don't think you could say Newbie have actually straight up
And I think I'd say Newbee's outplayed DT in the past 2 fights, and it's still an even fight. Yeah. With the BKB, and if they play better, it feels one-sided.
Possibly BKB plus Aegis and Cheese. Air's just picked up an Abyssal Blade as well to go with everything, and that's actually going to be a big help in locking down this Spectre. Spectre's got 6k gold, so there'll be 2 lives on Spectre, but... Like, buyback and... it depends how much you can actually do against air.
Lystio surged in. He's got an Abyssal Blade. He's going directly towards Hal. No, he's backing off.
Yeah, they should... I think they would have just seen the Tiny's BKB, because that's the one thing Newbee have to constantly be looking out for.
You know, one thing they can do is just toss Lifestealer in, Abyssal Blade the mag, and that mag's just dead.
They need the vision to do so, but... If they, if they get the
There's
vision.
nothing against that. He can just rage out of the glimpse. There's nothing that goes through Magic Queen except for RP.
There is double 4-staff, so you could, if he's fast, get the 4-staff off before Abyssal, but...
There's some cute combos with the toss that we've seen for them, and this is like the late game version.
They're still committing to this.
Oh, there's the double RP. It's a bit risky, but Injuly wards them off. They've got to go in. They can't just give this up for free. They'll focus on Dreamy Use. Spectre's going to haunt in. Roche dropping quite low. Not dead yet, though. And, in fact, Tiny glimpse back into the pit. He's thinking about finishing off the Roche. Now Hal's isolated him. Where's that Wisp when you need him? It's already dead. RP. Number 1. Nope. There's number 1. He cancels it, casts it again. Even got the sound effect, but they'll jack the Roche.
That's bad execution.
The Wisp just... I didn't see what happened, but she just melted.
Yeah, melted with the BKB. I think it was the Spectre haunted in. Wisp was still in the Roshan pit, and Spectre just solo killed Wisp in like 3 right clicks.
Our Newbee turning this now. They've gotten the Aegis. The Graph's going their way. Spectre's got almost Heart Gold, has the Aegis online, and has the buyback. In fact, I think has Heart.
That was just better execution from Newbee. Like, they punishing DT's inexperience there. We'll see what Air can do. Air's been the team MVP over the last week or so with some of his plays, and he's got a...
They have no wall, though, right now. How much can Injuly do in these fights?
Yeah. You'd love a Spectre Illusion, but that's doesn't seem to be happening.
There's a Rage from Air. He'll walk directly in, but he's not strong enough to fight everybody on Newbee at once.
Yeah. He'll draw Creep Aggro, which isn't bad.
Glimpse back in. Oh, they waited the Rage out. Now they're going to stomp him. Relocate. Will bring him out in time, though. It's Dreamy You who gets caught in the crossfire and killed off by the RP.
That was a refresher too, so Raxus may go down here, but DT still not out of this game, but all of a sudden, in July.
Well, here comes the Wisp. Yeah. That's super.
Yeah. Stampede going to be used as well. In July going to go down. They're just dropping 1 by 1 at this stage.
Uh-oh. They're throwing the lead away. DT, 5 dead, no buybacks. Or sorry, 4 dead, no buybacks, and straight for the throne. Newbee
fell apart.
Hit the kill switch.
Yeah.
DT, it's 46 minutes in. They've got a late game Tiny farm. They've got a late game Lifestealer farm as well, but Newbee just fighting as 5 and DT, who are fighting as 5 all game long, suddenly getting picked off 1 by 1.
Yeah, DT just collapsed in that Roshan fight, and here we go. They're focusing the throne. They got the tier 4 towers in. Oh, Air goes in with the Rage here. They just can't look anyone down. The 4-staff's just keeping... the kiting is just too good from Newbee. 4-staff's Blink Daggers being used to perfection.
Spectre has a Butterfly as well. He's also got the buyback ready and the Aegis to boot. Air caught. He'll melt. Now Hal driving XDD, and Hal XDD with no Wisp here just can't do a thing. He'll start whacking away at the throne. He's got the cleave as well. And we'll see a blink out from the Centaur. 4 staff away, rather. Hal going to work on XDD. He'll lose the Aegis, but he's still got a 2nd life, and he's got a buyback if he needs it. There's 2 more Spectre lives to throw at this throne, and DT, it's going to come down to one big vac wall. If they hit it, maybe they've got a shot. The BKB's there. The wall will follow. Suddenly, the Tiny Wisp arrive. They brought down 2, but they need more. They need another core hero for this. Centaur scatters to the low ground. How going in the midst of this wall? His team's already retreated. Moo, waiting for RP. He's got one soon. Dreamy U's going to just explode to the right click, and Hal looking for more. Gem hits the deck. There's no wall now. They can just wait this wall out. They can go in with double RP in 50 seconds. Single RP is ready now.
At this stage, they need the lifestealer. Tiny's used his BKB. Darkseer's walls on the ground as well, and that means Spectre just has to avoid it. So until lifesteal's back up, I think DT Club can't really fight. But Newbee say, we got Raxes, we got T4 Towers, let's back off, chill out, calm down, try to take another fight. Although, end of the day, all they got is, I mean, they took one lane of Raxes. They did take tier 4s, they did expose the throne, but...
And it's Tiny Wisp.
Tiny Wisp and a pretty scary lifestealer. So this is by no means game over.
But the graph is having a very mountain-esque look to it.
Oh, it just took another big jump. Wow. I don't know if I mean, Newbee just played patient, waited for the opportunity, and when it finally presented itself, they took it. So as much as it was a bit of a throw from DT, but it was more like a lapse in concentration rather than a throw, I'd say.
Yeah, and Newbee just fought the Roche fight very well.
Yeah, that was... Newbee played that. They were so smart around the pit. And DT, I think, just felt they were so... They knew they were ahead. That's the thing. They were so comfortable with their lead that they thought they could just walk into Roche and take it uncontested without a problem. But Spectre was bloody farmed.
Their lineup is so good at not having to take fights when they don't want to. That's the main thing for me. Is They didn't have to go for Roche right that second. They could have been split pushing with Tiny Wisp, get the lanes to a better position, try and bait out the smoke gank rather than just commit to the pit and get caught one by one. Rubik, I think, just getting caught over here to start the fight, and Wisp then dying to the ult from the Spectre afterwards. They just could have been more deliberate about the Roche attempt.
I feel like the single biggest issue as well for them in these team fights is there's no Blink Dagger and in July on Darkseer. This Hex he's bought, like, I haven't seen it. Like, I'm sure he used it in the fight, but it's like, it's not. It
should be his next item for sure, and he's almost got it.
If he had a Blink instead of, I feel like a Blink would have done more this game than a Hex. Is like he's been unable to find good vacuum walls because he doesn't have a Blink Dagger.
I agree, and it also sets up the tiny Avalanche Toss, which is solid damage even at this state of the game. Plus, just getting a nice AOE stun helps.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Also, potentially sets up the Rubik with the RP steal. Although he does need a BKB to get this off.
Yeah, Rubik's struggling to stay alive.
There's so much collateral. He's just collateral damage in most of these fights, really.
He just dies to a Spectre ulti. It's a sad life for him.
Yeah, even with the 4-step.
There's your Blink. This is like 50 minutes in and it's only
smoke
just
from Newbee. This is the GG smoke.
Yeah,
they find even just the lifestealer here. That could be game.
Sanching looking for a high ground ward, and this is going to make this push that little bit easier to execute. There's no detection to reveal that as well.
They're getting ready to jump. DT. Not much vision of this now. They're going to see a few, but in comes the Spectre. He is big. He is bad. They get off the Centaur ult right as the Vac comes in. Air does manage to Abyssal move, but can't finish him off. He just keeps on being force-staffed out of the fight. The Spectre's being kited a bit by the Tether Slow, but is it enough? Tiny. BKB still ready. RP will connect. That's only on Air, but it's enough. It looks like the wall been deployed, but Moo just blinks past it. There's RP number 2. Finds XTD. That's probably enough. Yeah. Spectre Haunt coming out. The chase is on. Wisp went for the relocate.
They don't need to go top. They can just go throne. This throne is still exposed. There's a giant creep wave on it. There we go. How Cat gets the memo. There is a glyph and needs to be used ASAP, but just Wisp Tiny alive. It's all over.
And Newbee, keep the dream alive. They're going to game 3. The talk of a DT 2-0 was premature. And in the end,
well, they...
Great comeback by Newbee.
Yeah, it was...
I think the main thing for me is DT tried... They just tried to play a little too much 5v5 Dota, and they could have relied on split push, pick off, and spread the map Dota. Sure, they had the super farm carries, but they could have waited for a better opportunity to take the Roche fight.
They had their opportunities this game, that's for sure, and Newbee just...
The other big thing is what you mentioned, the blink on Darkseer. He got it at the end, but it was just too late.
Was still like before that there was a couple fights where Moo just got amazing RPs off, which kept Newbee in the game, like that high ground push. Not just the RP there, but like forcing Tiny onto the high ground with the glimpse and then the skewer. Moo played amazing this game.
Well, guys, I'm not going to waste any time saying it. We're going to a game 3. The Summit Asia, your loser bracket round 3 match, your small final. winners bracket finals. What the hell am I talking about? I'm spacing out. Your winners bracket finals wraps it up now with one more game. Who's it going to be, DT or Newbee? Either way, both teams will live to fight another day. Winner of this match, guaranteed top 2 finish, but it's only first place that matters in the end. Vici Gaming is waiting for the loser. That lower bracket finals will be played tomorrow. I'm LD. He's Gods. He's K-Pop Tosis. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.